Henry John Surtees was born on 18 February 1991 in Lingfield, Surrey, into one of the most storied families in motorsport history. His father, John Surtees, CBE, remains the only individual ever to win world championships in both motorcycle racing and Formula One, a feat that still stands unmatched decades later. For Henry, motorsport was more than just an interest. It was part of his DNA. Yet from the start, he sought to build a career that would stand on its own merits, not just on the reflected glory of his father's extraordinary achievements. Growing up in an environment steeped in engines, circuits, and speed, Henry began karting at the tender age of 8. By 2005, he had already claimed the Junior Gearbox Championship in Britain, showcasing the precision and fearlessness that would characterize his driving style. Friends, competitors, and mentors alike noticed not just his speed, but also his calm, analytical approach, a temperament that suggested he might thrive as the stakes and pressures grew. Henry's early years in motorsport mirrored the traditional European single-seater ladder. He competed in the Formula BMW UK Championship in 2007 with Carlin Motorsport, one of Britain's premier junior single-seater teams. That season, he secured a pole position at Thruxton and claimed a victory at Donington Park. He finished second in the Rookie Cup standings, a promising result given the depth of talent in the field. In 2008, Surtees stepped up to the Formula Renault UK Championship, one of the most competitive proving grounds for future Formula One drivers. While results in the main class were modest, he impressed in the Formula Renault Winter Series, gaining valuable experience in different conditions and against international competition. Later that year, he debuted in the British Formula 3 national class with Carlin, winning his first race at Donington and adding several podiums, further cementing his reputation as a rising star. Entering Formula 2. In early 2009, the FIA reintroduced the Formula 2 Championship as a cost-effective feeder series for young drivers aspiring to reach Formula One. Backed by Jonathan Palmer's Motorsport Vision organization, the series promised equal machinery, placing a premium on driver skill rather than budget. Henry joined the grid, piloting car number 7. During pre-season testing at Silverstone, he stunned observers by topping the timesheets, outpacing rivals by over a second. This pace was no fluke. At the first race weekend at Brands Hatch, he secured a podium finish with a calm, assured drive to third place. In June, he captured pole position at Brno in the Czech Republic, further reinforcing that his name was one to watch. Commentators noted that Henry's driving style was measured yet decisive. He didn't make rash lunges, but he knew how to seize an opportunity. In a championship designed to showcase talent, his adaptability and racecraft were beginning to stand out. The weekend that changed everything. The Formula 2 paddock returned to Brands Hatch for its British round in July 2009. The Kent circuit was special for Henry, not just because it was one of the UK's most iconic venues, but because it was where he had secured his first F2 podium just weeks earlier. On the 19th of July 2009, during the second race of the weekend, tragedy struck. On the 10th lap, fellow competitor Jack Clark lost control at Westfield Bend. Clark's car collided with the barriers, and the impact caused his left rear wheel to detach completely. The wheel assembly, weighing approximately 29 kilograms, 64 pounds, was flung into the air. Racing at close speed behind, Henry had virtually no time to react. Traveling at an estimated 161 kilometers per hour, 100 miles per hour, the loose wheel struck the front of his helmet with catastrophic force. Witnesses later described the impact as instantaneous and unavoidable. With the force of the blow rendering him unconscious, Henry's car continued straight on, leaving the track and colliding with the barriers at Sheen Curve. Marshals and medical personnel were on the scene almost immediately. Given the severity of the incident, the race was red-flagged. Henry was carefully extracted from the cockpit and treated trackside before being airlifted to the Royal London Hospital. Despite the best efforts of the medical team, he succumbed to his injuries later that day. He was just 18 years old. Shockwaves through the motorsport world. The news of Henry Surtees' death was met with disbelief. The motorsport community, so accustomed to its young stars chasing dreams at impossible speeds, was reminded in the harshest terms of the sport's inherent dangers. Jonathan Palmer, chief executive of Formula 2, described it as one of the saddest moments in my 35-year career in motorsport. He praised Henry as a hugely promising driver and a delightful young man, whose talent and demeanor had won him friends across the paddock. Messages of condolence poured in from across the racing spectrum, from grassroots club racers to Formula One world champions. Many noted Henry's humility, maturity beyond his years, and determination to succeed on his own terms. For his father, John Surtees, the loss was immeasurable. Having spent his own career navigating the dangers of top-level racing, he was all too aware of the risks, but nothing could prepare a parent for such a tragedy. John would later channel his grief into an enduring legacy for his son, the Henry Surtees Foundation. In the months following Henry's passing, the Surtees family established the Henry Surtees Foundation. Its mission was, and remains, twofold: to support people with brain or physical injuries sustained through accidents, providing funding for medical facilities, rehabilitation equipment, and patient care. To promote safety in motorsport, funding research and equipment aimed at reducing the risk of similar incidents. Over the years, the foundation has donated significant sums to air ambulance services, hospitals, and brain injury units. It has also supported young drivers, mechanics, and engineers through scholarship programs, ensuring that Henry's name remains linked to the sport in a positive, forward-looking way. Safety reforms and lasting impact. While the FIA and other governing bodies had already been working to improve safety standards in motorsport, Henry's death became a catalyst for renewed urgency. In particular, the incident highlighted the dangers posed by detached wheels in open cockpit racing. Formula One cars already employed wheel tethers, high-strength cables designed to keep wheels attached to the chassis during a crash. But Henry's accident prompted an immediate review of their effectiveness in junior categories. By 2011, Formula One had doubled the number of wheel tethers from 2 to 4 per wheel, and similar measures were adopted in other open-wheel series. In the years that followed, the conversation around driver head protection intensified. Ultimately, the FIA introduced the Halo device in 2018, a titanium structure mounted around the cockpit to deflect debris and protect the driver's head. While controversial at first, the Halo has already saved lives, including high-profile incidents involving Charles Leclerc at Spa in 2018 and Romain Grosjean at Bahrain in 2020. Many safety advocates note that, had such a device existed in 2009, Henry's accident might have had a different outcome. A life remembered. Friends remember Henry as polite, intelligent, and self-effacing. Though he bore a famous surname, he never flaunted it. His focus was always on improvement, on being quicker through a certain corner, smoother under braking, more precise with setup feedback. He was also a teenager with a wide range of interests. Away from the track, he enjoyed cycling, working on cars, and spending time with friends and family. His easy smile and sharp wit made him well-liked by teammates and rivals alike. The Surtees family has often spoken of the overwhelming support they received from the motorsport community in the aftermath of Henry's death. From letters and flowers to charity auctions and memorial races, the gestures reinforced the unique bond within this high-risk sport, a bond forged in the knowledge that, despite fierce competition, the well-being of every driver matters deeply to all. The broader lesson. Henry Surtees' death was not the first fatality in motorsport, and sadly, it was not the last. But it stands as a powerful reminder that every loss can, and should, drive the sport toward greater safety. Since 2009, countless drivers have walked away from accidents that might once have been fatal, thanks in part to the technological and procedural changes accelerated by his accident. Today, his name lives on not only in the foundation, but also in the lessons learned and the innovations adopted. Young drivers entering the sport, many of whom were children when Henry raced, benefit from those hard-won gains, often without realizing the tragedies that prompted them. If Henry Surtees' story moved you, remember that keeping these legacies alive depends on us sharing them. Hit like if you believe his memory and the safety changes he inspired deserve to be heard by more people. Subscribe to stay with us for more in-depth motorsport stories, spotlighting the triumphs, tragedies, and turning points that shaped racing as we know it. And in Henry's spirit, let's keep pushing for progress, both on and off the track.